is Soila and I make book related videos on this channel. So if that sounds interesting, these are my social media things. And you can also subscribe to the channel if that's your cup of tea. So I'm so sorry for this bad camera and audio quality because I'm shooting this section of a video on my phone. Hopefully at some point, a few minutes from now, it's gonna switch to better camera quality. But basically I really wanted to film today because today is the first day of the Kenyan readathon started by Lexa Reads. I'll also put her channel somewhere here, where we're just focusing on Kenyan books for the month of September. So if you want to join in, I'll leave links in the video description where you can go and find out more. But basically, this is the book I'm starting with. It is Havoc of Choice by Wanjiru Kinange, and Kenyan Bookstagram has really gone wild with it. So I'm really eager to start, and I want to read 1 or 2 chapters today. If you not new here, I have a new background again for the 10th time, but basically I moved to Denmark to study my master's, and yeah, this is actually my 3rd day here and I don't even know how I'm filming this. I hope I'll be able to edit it on time to release a video this week. But anyway, there's a lot going on, and so I'm really hoping I can just read this thing. Please, I just want to read it in the first week, and so fingers crossed for that. So this is gonna be, as the title says, a vlog of me reading. I'm saying that laughing because I'm like, am I gonna manage? Anyway, I'll manage. So I just really wanted to film this today though, because it's the first day, so at least I can say I did that. So if you are joining the Kenyan readathon, this has been talked about a lot. You should read it probably. Put the video from my previous video talking about my Kenyan readathon TBR somewhere up above me. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Let's see if I can vlog, because I've never done that before, so good luck to me. Just popping in to say I've read the first chapter and I'm really liking it. It's like it just hit the ground running, which I really appreciate. So I think I'm still continuing to read, so who knows how far I'll get. It is 9:44 right now in the night, so I read at night, so I could literally keep going. So let's see where I get. But I'm just super impressed about how quickly it started, because I don't know, I'm just used to books. I'm never optimistic about it starting and I'm hooked immediately, but this is what has happened, so A+ so far. Okay, so it's a bit past midnight. Actually, it's 12:30 and I've read 4 chapters. Congratulations to me, but it is just so interesting. As you can see, I've tabbed it a bit and I've written notes inside, which is something I'm getting used to, because I want to start putting down my thoughts more when I'm reading. And I mean, it's just such an intriguing book to read. The author is just really good at writing dialogue. There's so many parts that I just wrote notes on, because I'm just loving the dialogue that she's writing, especially between the main character and her husband. So actually I should say what the book is about. So basically the book is about, the main character is called Kavata. Her father was a politician, an MP, and he was very corrupt, and now her husband is getting into politics as well, and she's just breaking down. She really doesn't want that to happen, because she knows how things worked out with her dad. She's really against the whole corruption thing and the scandals and just all that. So with her husband getting into it, she's again, really. And it's her dad who got her husband into it, so it's just this really just gonna repeat itself. And the story is centered around the post-election violence that happened in 2007. So I'm trying to see how that will pan out in the end. And there's time jumping sort of, because the story starts at one point in the present of the story and then goes back to explain the past a bit. So that's working out well. Usually that's a very touch and go situation when it comes to jumping around in terms of time, but it's working really well. There's a lot of mentions of things I know, of course, and it's just so reminiscent of different parts of my life. And so it's just really funny to read through it and contrast it to my own experiences of the same things. Like their daughter is in campus right now and she's in USIU for the Kenyans watching, and she's doing international relations, which is the most USIU course I know. And just her experiences in campus, campus politics and all that. And I'm just like, wow, as in I'm reliving my life through this book, and I'm just 4 chapters in, so it's just a really good one. I'm super excited to get past it. So I'm trying to see if I keep up this pace, I'll maybe be done by Thursday. Okay, so it is Wednesday, 2nd September, and yeah, I'm going to run some errands. Okay, errands makes it sound like I'm going shopping or something. I'm like going to apply for something that I have to apply for, and then before that I'm going to print the things that I need. So I decided to walk there because it's a sunny day and the sun is about to not be there anymore. And yeah, so I think what I was thinking is that as I walk to enjoy the sun, I'll just try and video some stuff on my phone. And because it'll be videoed on my phone, I'll just like put some jangly ukulele music or something like that over it. Hopefully I, 1, remember to actually do that, and 2, get some good footage of the city. I didn't even actually say where I am. So I'm in Aarhus in Denmark. Yeah, so I need to go do my stuff. So let's see how this all works out. I've never vlogged before, as I mentioned, so this is all very weird to me, but we'll see if I manage something. See ya! I did my errands. I ran my errands. I went to the beach. Hopefully, just before you see this, you're seeing the like beach videos and like me walking around the city. But yeah, today was a good day. I left at chapter 4, so I'll see if I can get through another 4 chapters today, because the way my week is going, I need to capitalize on, especially today. I'll see if I can do actually 4 or 5. chapters today, because tomorrow I need to like read schoolwork related stuff. So yeah, just before that gets too crazy, I'll try and read as much as I can now. But yeah, today was a nice day. Very fulfilling because I applied for the thing I needed to apply for, and that's done. So I can move on. Yeah, but basically, let's see how far I can push myself. Oh, and look at my cute Kenya thing. So I have Kenya wherever I go. That's so cheesy. I do have Kenya wherever I go, despite everything, because it's my name. But yeah, I need to remove that from my hair actually. So let's see. I'll see if I can read outside at some point, because like the university grounds are really nice. And it's still sunny, so I might be able to catch some of that. Either tomorrow or Friday, hopefully, so I can at least read in some nice scenery, which I never get to do. I always read in my bed. But yeah, let's jump on over to when I'm actually reading the book. Update. I'm on chapter, I think I'm somewhere in chapter 6, and things are getting super interesting. I mean, they've been interesting from the beginning, but I mean, the heat in the kitchen is increasing. Yeah, I'm in the middle of chapter 6. I read really slowly. And I've just been writing notes inside. I think there's a character called Anne, for those who read it or are reading it when you watch this. Anne is my favorite character. She's the main character's friend, sort of the only friend she's managed to keep for a long time, like ever since I think they met in uni, or around the time the main character was in uni, and she's like the only friend she's been able to maintain over the years, sort of on and off. And she's first described as sort of a carefree person, like she just does anything she wants. She moved to Kampala with some guy against, like, she didn't even tell anyone she was going, she just left. She only told Kawata, and I don't know, well, she came back. She'd broken up with a guy, but even, okay, yeah, she says like all her mistakes, and there's a part where she tells Kawata, the main character, that you should learn from my mistakes, basically, and something along those lines. And yeah, she's a very flawed character, but I appreciate how she's been presented, because that's sort of, especially when it's a woman who has her traits, there's a way they're usually painted, which, yeah, that's fine. That side of them is true. Like, even she admits she made mistakes with all her philandering and all that. But I like how she's been portrayed here, as in these two sides. There's just, no one is one dimensional, no one is a single side. Like the side you want to see. Human beings are beyond three-dimensional. I'm just really appreciating how she's been portrayed, and the like this is a very character-driven story more than anything else, and the main theme that's coming out here is family and how different families function. So what I'm seeing is, like, of course, there's Kavata's family, her and her husband are the main, so the center of the story, but then it's very much always contrasted with when Kavata was living with her parents. So like her parents, like that side of her family, when she was with her mom and dad, and then I mean also Anne and all her relationships and all her drama. And it's just very interesting to see how each function and what things they put above others, like what they pay attention to. as being important, and how wives support husbands, how husbands support wives. Like it's a different dynamic for each situation, and it's quite interesting to like watch it all unfold. There's just so much that's interesting about this book. I really have nothing bad to say about it. Even the time jumping and time skipping is really working well. It's helping with the suspense bit of things, because any story needs an element of suspense throughout. Like you need that thing that's making you turn the pages, like what happens next, what happens next. And so that time jumping thing is really working out in that aspect. So I really appreciate that, because I hardly ever read, I guess I would call this contemporary fiction, like things that happen in today's world that could happen or have are based on real events, because it's based on post-election violence that happened in 2007 2008 in Kenya with fictional characters. So these could have happened very much, and I hardly ever read such. I'm always reading like fantasy and just basically things that can't happen. But this is so nice. Like, can I get such a guys? So I like this book. Please suggest me other contemporary fiction that you would that you think I would like based on this book. This is mostly to my Kenyan viewers. If you've read The Havoc of Choice, which I know many of you have out there. So please, if this is what contemporary fiction is, then I want it. And maybe my problem is that I've only ever tried YA contemporary fiction, young adult. Maybe that's why I just don't like it, because it's just like the stakes are low. Like it's just like, oh, will he end up with her or not? Like, okay, bro, but like what else is happening in the story? I can't just like follow weak plots, because like there's enough suffering in life. I will DNF that so fast. But I'm really enjoying this. And maybe I just need to stop reading young adult, in other words. Anyway, I'm really liking it. Okay, so this is few, maybe a few hours later. It's almost 2 a.m. It's 1:52 a.m. And I've reached my reading goal of the night, which was to get to chapter 10. So I've read 5 chapters. A few things. Obviously, a lot has happened. The election is this last chapter just read is the election day. Like, is this happening, and the various perspectives of each person doing their thing. So like Kavata's husband Gugi went to vote and had some drama there. Then their daughter Wanja, who's in uni and is also working for an election campaign, like had her thing, and they were working like overnight, because she's like in a like the campaign team, like that's their busiest time, I guess. So they're like writing stories and doing press things. But so something happened. 2 things happened. One, I found the part of the book that mentions the Havoc of Choice, which is always like roll credits when you see it, because it's like, okay, so now I understand the title of the book, and I'm going to try and find it. Yes. And it's basically it's written by Kavata, the main character, in a letter to her husband Ngugi, who has gotten into politics and she's so pissed about it. So she wrote him a letter, and something she mentions like the havoc of choice that is being talked about is his choice to run in an election and be a candidate. He's trying to be an MP of Machakos, and so like that's tearing their marriage apart. So that's the havoc of choice. That's the main thing that is surrounding this whole story. So it makes sense. Another thing that happened is that I found my name in a book, and I've just posted that on Instagram. Which I'm not used to seeing my name in books, which is understandable. So this is exciting. And so something else is, if you watched my video before this, where I mentioned my TBR for the Kenyan readathon, I mentioned that I show actually that the author wrote me a note, which I kind of didn't pay too much attention to. I mean, I thought she was just being nice. I don't know whether you've seen that or not, but basically she says, to Soila, one of my favorite names. That's one of the first things she says. And like, I thought she was just being nice because she's writing an author's note, but I found my name and I was like, oh, chill, wait, was she being serious? And also, so just listen to these two sentences, the only time she's mentioned so far. Soila excused herself from the dark-skinned beauty who was perched on her lap. The next time she's mentioned, a page later, Soila's dark-skinned girl was reinstalled onto her lap. So doesn't that mean Soila is gay gay or bi? Anyway, the point is, I like this agenda that is being used with my name. I mean, if anything, it's like she's a very in passing character. Basically, if she didn't have my name, I wouldn't have really even noticed her. And I'm sure the way it's been mentioned, I'm sure she wouldn't be mentioned again. But anyway, this is a good usage of my name. I approve this message, and I also approve of subtlety in terms of representation. I mean, there are some things where you could be trying to achieve too much with your book, and so I get that the author is focusing on the story she's telling, but it's a nice nod to insert things that are either important to you or that you support without banging pots and pans. So I really appreciate that. That's how she chose to go about adding LGBTQ people in the book, and just writing it in passing as if it's normal, because it's normal. So let's not make a big deal out of it sometimes, because it's this is how it should be done, just naturally, the way it would be said any other way. So yes, also I wanted to show everyone who is watching my very pretty what's this thing called, bookmark. It's 2 a.m. My brain isn't working, but yeah, my bookmark, it's really pretty. I got it as a present from a friend, and I only recently rediscovered it because I had put it in a book that was on my shelf. And so I was like, wait, where did that bookmark go? And I found it, and it's so pretty. And yeah, anyway, so I need to sleep now. My plan is, honestly, if I had my way, I'd finish this book tomorrow. I'm officially halfway through it, but I have schoolwork to read, so I want to try and read the school stuff and also read as much of this as possible. The least I should do is 5 chapters, after which I'll have 2 chapters left, so I should just finish it. Anyway, we'll see what happens. So it's the next morning, and I woke up at 10. No surprise, because I slept at past 3. Yeah, so I've just kind of woken up, and to open the blinds. I'm so scared of these things breaking, so I've not raised them at any moment. This is how I get my light. Maybe I'll be brave enough to actually lift them. Okay, it's working now. When I initially came, it wasn't working. Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, I think I want to try get a few chapters in, 2. Because what I'm thinking, if I can get 2 chapters in now, then in the night, I finish it. Please, can I stick to my plans for one day in my life? Because I have, as I mentioned, I have schoolwork to do, so in the middle of that, then I'll do my schoolwork. I think it's crossed. I have something from 4 to 6 it is. But it's just across. Thank God I live near the university. So I'll do my stuff and I'll read until I go, basically. Hopefully I can finish the readings by the time I'm going for. Yeah, so today I'm not out much, so I don't know if I'll actually read outside, cause yeah, no, I'm not even in the mood of leaving the house. But yeah, let me just like get my breakfast or something and then start reading. My meager food. I really need to go shopping. I think I've gone food shopping once since I've been here. Like it's a lot. I forgive myself. This is not all mine. This is my roommate, so I don't think I have my life that much together. Now me doing things with one hand. What's the point of having a child? Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting. I'll just put some bread because yeah. Okay, so I have my. This is my. This actually looks sad on camera, but it's not. It's not that sad. I mean, I love bread. I like how I'm defending myself to imaginary people who might actually not be judging me, but anyway. My banana. I need like a stool or something here, because I keep stuff near my bed a lot, so I'm used to functioning that way. That. Hopefully this won't be too hard to reach. Yeah, so let's see if I can get 2 or 3 chapters in before I settle down and like try and actually do school readings that I actually need to do. The place is so messy. Yeah, anyway. This is a very ugly pillowcase that I feel like I also need to defend because it's like my travel pillowcase. Don't ask me what a travel pillowcase is, but just know I never actually use it unless I'm traveling, and so that's why it's there. But yeah, anyway, so let me just set up myself a little and then I'll get to reading. So quick update, I am now on chapter 12. I'm just starting chapter 12 and it's about 1 p.m. I've read 2 chapters, so I want to read chapter 12 and then I go to my schoolwork. I like how I keep saying that. I hope I actually do it. Of course I will, but yeah, I just feel like I've been saying that the whole week and I'm running out of time. But so chapter 11 is called the Havoc of Choice, so it was indeed a pivotal chapter where now the descriptions of the post-election violence are happening. And so by the way, how this book does it is that the focus is on Kavata and her family, and her husband Ngugi is running for an MP position, as I said, in Machakos. And so the focus is on them and their political affiliations, and so the president is never actually mentioned, like who it is. It's interesting to see how writers get around actually mentioning people who exist, but you still know who they're talking about. It's just very interesting. I mean, yeah, I guess you can't say actual names, but for sure you know exactly who is being talked about, exactly what is being talked about, because at least she can mention real places and things. And so like chapter 11, the one that's called the Havoc of Choice, is full of like, it's when the country descends into chaos, basically. Yeah, I'm trying to like describe all this without giving spoilers, but it's just very interesting for sure. I've tabbed so much. Okay, open that page again. But as you can see, I have tabbed the pages so much. Like there's so many things. Descriptions of how the police system works in Kenya, how the court system works, how diaspora Kenyans reacts to Kenya, and so many other things that I've just been tabbing. Serious things, funny things. I've just started like doing detailed notes in my books, and so I'm still figuring out a system. So I just use any color. The colors don't mean anything. I just make sure I use them in a way that I'm using all of them and I don't run out of one color or something. But this is just a really well thought out, really well written book. I think everyone should read it, whether or not you're from Kenya. It's a fictional way of understanding what happened during the elections, and then because of course the election is countrywide and what happened was countrywide, but it focuses down on this group of people who you can therefore relate to, whether or not you're Kenyan, whether or not you've experienced anything like that. But it's an entertaining way of learning about things. So if you don't like reading history books or articles or like serious things, but you want more information about what happened during the post-election violence in Kenya in 2007 and 2008, this is a good book to read, I would say, because it has the elements of fiction that keep it interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's quite something. Oh, and Soila turned up again briefly. I didn't think she'd be mentioned again, but she was mentioned like for 2 seconds. Yeah. I may try and read outside after my class. It's not really a class. After my thing from 4 to 6, I'll see if I can find somewhere to sit outside and read. So I'll get some shots of this outside for once, because I'm always reading in my bed. Yeah. So I read chapter 12, and it's still like in the middle of the election violence, and basically what happens is like the whole main family is scattered. So I won't say where each of them are, but then none of them are with each other. Remember, there's Kavata, Boogie, and their 2 kids, Wanjiru who's in uni and Amani who's like a kid like 10 maybe. So none of them are with each other. Everyone is everywhere. And they're all now rushing to get back to each other. And I mean, it's quite interesting how their story of their family is being weaved into the larger election disruption that was going on. And yeah, I mean, trigger warning for anyone reading this book. Of course, if it's a story about violence, then there will be violence, and so if you're thinking about reading it, just keep that in mind. There's nothing too gruesome, too like descriptive, but there is some stuff. Yeah, so definitely I know like chapter 11 and 12 are like probably also 13 are going to be like the key parts of the book, like the climax. But I needed to stop to do other things. So I think, yeah, I'll just get some lunch and then, yeah. Hopefully I'll finish the book today though, because things are going according to plan for once. So yeah. The plan of going to read outside fails because the weather fails me. It fails me. So it's been like half of it. Apparently Danish weather is just changes all the time, and that's like a thing. And it's, yeah, so I'm starting to see that. So for the past days that I've been here, it's always been sunny at some point, and it was sunny in the morning hours, and I've experienced that the sun does come back at some point, even when it goes, like it just keeps changing. But like right now it's about 6 and the sun has not come back. It's quite cold, it's quite drizzly-ish, rainy a bit, so no reading outside, and I want to finish the book today. So I have a few other books I carry, and of course I have ebooks. So if you guys actually like me vlogging, even though it's so dumb, I'll continue. I'll have a chance maybe to actually read outside and vlog myself reading outside. This is all very dumb and cheesy, but alas, here I find myself. So I have I'd say, how many chapters left? I really can't remember. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I am on chapter 13 and there are 17 chapters plus an epilogue, so I'm not far, as you can see. I've read most. And yes, so I was talking to someone on Instagram, and they saw how I have completely been writing inside the book rather, and I'm really enjoying that. And they were like, how are you doing that to a book? And I'm like, you know what, it's mine. I used to even have a problem writing my name. You know how you write your name at the beginning, at the front of the book? I even used to not like doing that, but now I'm just like, okay, but what else am I doing in the book? So I've really been going all out. You can't really see it clearly, but I've been writing notes, I've been putting in my tabs and all that. So I look forward to continuing that. Hopefully I'll finish reading today, so I'll go back to my midnight reading, but maybe not too late today, so I'll try start a bit earlier. But yes, we must finish this book today, fingers crossed. Okay, so it's 1:18 a.m. and I am done reading the book. These last few chapters were brutal. Oh my god. I mean, obviously once the violence started, like I knew, like, yeah, but it really did just go downhill from like chapter 11, 12 there, and just kept going down. Whew, damn, I almost cried a few times. And I'm those people, like the only time I actually cry is like reading books, I think. Wow, like I don't even know what to say, but it's just, it's an amazing book. This is how much I tabbed it. I don't know if you can see. I just, wow. In the acknowledgement section at the end, the author said she's been working on this for 7 years. Yeah, I can tell. Like, this is very, very fine-tuned piece of work, and it's rooted in like real life, and so I guess that makes it all the more impactful. This is such a good book. I honestly would say everyone should read it. I read it in 3 days. I don't remember the last time I read a book in 3 days. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure I had my moments, but past adolescence, my reading really went down. So this book really, like, it's very fast paced, like things are just moving at a good pace, and I'm just not getting over those last chapters. Okay, so since it was a book about post-election violence and the fact that the family were all separated and all running into, like, all of them had close shaves with death at some point. And so I just knew, based on the fact of like reading and how books work, that someone would be the sacrificial lamb. Like, someone had to die to just, that always happens. Like, there's always someone else to die in such a narrative where there's like lots of brushes with death. And so the person who did die, I wasn't seeing that coming. I really didn't see that coming at all. And when I think about it, it makes sense, but it's just so sad. Oh, it's just so sad. But this book has dealt with a lot. The main theme for me, I think, was family, and the different, just portrayed through the different families. It was a good portrayal of Kenya as a country. That's why I'm saying everyone should read this book. I feel like it's just very Kenyan through and through, in the best way and the worst way possible. I mean, at the end there, it was dealing with privilege, like class privilege, and basically the fact that the main character didn't see that her choices affected other people as much as they did. And it was about her realizing that, and that's why it's called the Havoc of choice. Like, I guess life is just a collection of choices until we die, basically. And of course, you can't not make choices. You have to make choices in order to move forward and keep moving forward and forward and forward. But every choice you make has a consequence. And so for Kavata, in her privileged position, she didn't realize that small choices she made have really largely affected people. Like it's small for her, but it's a huge consequence on someone else. And this book was about her realizing that to some extent. But no, this was just so damn good. Yeah, I think I need to get into contemporary fiction more. Yeah, so that was a good, how many pages? That was a well spent 364 pages. Not one word was wasted. That's why I'm not surprised it took so long to write. Like, it's just so fine tuned. There was not one extra comma, one extra full stop. I literally have nothing bad to say about the book, like at all. I like her unapologetic use of Kenyanisms and Nairobianisms, and not translating. Okay, she'd find a way to do it sometimes that was a bit natural, but not translating words, not explaining too much about places, and just saying the story and telling the story, which is something I always love to see in African writing. Because with books, like, especially from the Western world, it's like, okay, so like you're talking about Ohio, but where the hell is Ohio? But you're not going to explain it to me. You'll just continue telling your story, but that's not what happens in African books sometimes. These days it's reducing, but you have to explain to the last centimeter what it is we mean. But she was mixing in her Sheng and just how, like, people from Nairobi talk, mixing Kiswahili and English and Sheng all in like one sentence. No, this was good. This is real talent, and I think her talent lies in her dialogue. I love the dialogue, especially between Kavata and Gugi. Throughout, from when they first met to their current selves, it was just good. I think that's her strength. Her strength is in her character building. They're very believable people, and they act consistently throughout. Like, you can tell this person is their own person, which is really hard when you're writing a book and you have however many number of characters you're dealing with. These people could really exist. They had their clear own voices, and yeah, I mean, I guess everything is more deep and dark at 2 a.m. in the morning, and so this is probably the best time to talk about it, because I can't imagine. I feel like when I sleep and wake up, some of this, what I'm feeling, would have gone, so I'm happy I'm talking about this now. But yeah, wow, this thing just needs to be read by everyone, honestly. I mean, it's a sad book, it's a dark book in many ways, in all the ways, but at the same time, it's just really well written, and there's definitely something you can take away from it. But yeah, I'm so happy I read it in 3 days. I need a medal. Someone come and give me chocolate. I've achieved something I haven't done in a while. I think I don't actually keep track of how fast I read, but yeah, this was kind of fast for me. Finally, I'm done. So my first book for the Kenyan readathon is done and dusted.